Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Friday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing awesome out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day. And I hope everyone's been having a great week out there as we head off into our weekend. Hopefully, you're waking up to some snow if you've been following along with these updates with this winter storm. And of course, you live in the area that's being impacted by this winter storm. A lot of people are waking up to sleet, some snow, some maybe just rain, sleet mix, whatever it may be. A lot of folks are waking up to some winter weather. And then those other areas where this just has not started yet. So we're going to give you one last update on this storm. And I'm going to admit, guys, it's going to be a quicker update. I am not going to get near as detailed in this video. Just want to let you know right off the dot. But we are going to still show you all the updated graphics for mainly the people that's still out ahead of this system. We will show you Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way up to Illinois, Indiana, but after that, we're going to move east, okay? So we're not going to show Mississippi, Arkansas, or anything like that anymore. So if you're tuning in from that area, I'm not going to try to lead you astray here or try to say I'm going to show you when I'm really not. But I'm going to show everybody else I just mentioned. And then after that, it's a nowcasting thing. I will not have a video this evening. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm actually going to head out and start chasing some of this throughout my home state here in South Carolina and try to reel some sleet, some snow in my backyard. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. So let's get going here. So it's the latest update information. I would say some things have changed. For example, they have upgraded Tuscaloosa to a winter storm warning. Things are deteriorating quickly in north central Alabama. We've dramatically switched to snow about an hour or so ago, and it's coating everything. And like Birmingham, I think they're reporting like an inch of snow right now just east of Birmingham. Snow and sleet's beginning to fall in Atlanta. We're having, of course, the typical issues, which we were expecting. This is not a surprise at all. With, if you're looking at your radar, you might see snow over your house, whether it's the Weather Channel app, whatever app you're using, but there's nothing fall from the sky. And you're saying, what's the deal? Well, it's called Virga. A lot of dry air out here. We've had a lot of Arctic air in place. And the atmosphere really has to moisten up a little bit. So once it does, then something will start falling, whether that's sleet, snow, maybe just rain. Something will begin to fall. Now, as far as further south, we've had an extension south with the winter weather advisories. No upgrades to winter storm warnings, say, in like Columbia or Lexington. Nothing in Augusta, still winter weather advisories. Florence, though, we have winter weather advisories. I mean, these winter weather advisories are stretching all the way down to Allendale, South Carolina now. They extend almost to all the coastal areas. Almost every single county in North Carolina has a winter weather alert except my friends in Wilmington. So if you're a winter weather fan, I'm sorry, guys. Maybe you'll get upgraded to one. I'm not sure. But, I mean, they almost stretch all the way to Horry County now. Greenville, Spartanburg, winter storm warnings. Nothing changed with all these areas. We've had some extensions north with some of these winter storm warnings, like in the West Virginia now. Not quite up to Charleston, but yeah, guys, so I mean, this is an ongoing thing just to kind of zoom out. I'm going to be interested to see the final totals out of Arkansas, but it's still snowing in many areas. One big area that got absolutely crushed that I did not speak on a lot, and it caught a lot of people off guard. I'm hearing reports of over 12 inches of snow in Amarillo, so pretty wild stuff. And listen, somebody's going to overachieve in this storm. Someone's going to underachieve. So as far as what the radar looks like now, this pink you're seeing in like central South Carolina, Charlotte, even Greenville, Spartanburg, none of this is hitting the ground right now as of 5:47, which, by the way, making this video really early this morning. So that is not hitting the ground as of that time frame. If you're tuning in from 9, you're like, Mitch, you're lying. Well, I made this video over 3 hours before your report. So stuff is moving into Tennessee now. But I mean, for example, in Nashville, as of right at this second, the snow might be just starting, but it looks like it's been snowing there for a while. But it's definitely snowing and doing something down here in Alabama. Let's see if come on, pop up. Let's go. As of around like 5:30, it was puking snow in Birmingham. And we're starting to get this actually reaching the ground here in Atlanta. And just to zoom back out, it's a very large storm. We got snow all the way up here. It's much colder, not struggling with any cold air up here. So the big question, what happens the rest of the morning, the day in Georgia, and then the Carolinas and Virginia and eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, and then points east are next. This is wrapping up back here in Texas. Dallas, I'm hearing it was very depressing. Y'all guys started off with a few inches of snow, and then it ended with just rain. And that was always the fear. And that's always kind of depressing when you start off as a good snowstorm. You're thinking, man, this is going to be awesome. And then it just ends with a steady rain. That is the absolute worst. And some areas it might be like that. For example, I could see Birmingham being like that later today. Maybe a couple inches of quick snow and then switching to rain. Could happen to a lot of people. But let's see if we have the latest 06Z Euro. We do not. So we're just going to stick with the 00Z Euro. And honestly, I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is a nowcasting thing for everybody. But this is what the latest overnight Euro showed. It's going to show a period of heavy snow from northern Georgia into the upstate of South Carolina. Snow will continue to overspread the entire state of Tennessee. Already snowing back in Memphis. I think you guys have already picked up around 3 inches of snow or so. We could get a burst of snow and sleet as far south as the Midlands of South Carolina. And then you're going to struggle to mix with sleet, maybe freezing rain. The pink is the freezing rain. The orange is the sleet. And then you get into this afternoon, just a solid wintry mix in the state of South Carolina, western North Carolina. This is mainly snow in Tennessee, except maybe close to Chattanooga. You'll probably begin to mix a little bit. And then to keep this going, and some of the global models are colder than the short-range models. And some of the discussions talk about this. Columbia talks about this. They said that, for example, the HRRR model is too warm. And I'm not even going to show it, but they are really buying significant ice totals in like areas of Georgia and South Carolina, even getting into North Carolina. But I mean, they're buying over a quarter-inch ice totals in like South Carolina. I'll show you that here in a second. But we'll continue to keep this going. The snow begins to enter Virginia, take over West Virginia light at first. You go into the middle of the night tonight. This is your opportunity in northern North Carolina, southern Virginia to get a nice thumping of snow, like moderate, maybe heavy at times, showing this corridor of nasty freezing rain in the northern Midlands and the upstate of South Carolina, maybe as far south as Columbia. And then we continue to move. You might switch to rain for a lot of areas that might start off as a solid wintry mix today. And then look at the snow. I mean, like Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, you're right on the fringe of like snow or freezing rain, sleet, or maybe a combination of everything. The big question is, do you get a solid few to several inches of snow in southeast VA? There's the possibility. Someone could overachieve. Calling it now. Someone's going to overachieve in southern Maryland, the Tidewater area, Virginia. Someone might overachieve with this. And then you're just going to get some light snow up in the northeast, into the northeast section of the country. And then some wraparound light snowflakes I could see could fall as far south as Birmingham to Atlanta. Saying it now. But northwest flow will follow behind it, and then that's it. Now let's break down the graphics. And we're going to zip through this here. But this was updated about 45 minutes ago. They're thinking before it's all said and done, a few tenths of an inch of snow is possible through central Georgia, northern Georgia, a couple inches of snow, and sleet. I want to add, a lot of this is going to be sleet. Okay? And then the ice totals. As this switches to freezing rain, they are really being aggressive with these ice totals. Like north of Atlanta, going for a quarter to a half inch of ice in this red area. Like northeast Georgia is notorious for bad ice storms because of cold air damming. So they're on the I-20 corridor points north all the way up to 85 and north of 85. Man, this might be the third video in a row I have to sneeze. No, it looks like it went away. But I'm telling you, northern and northeast Georgia, over a quarter inch of ice. And once you start to get over a quarter inch, that's when you start to see the weighing of the tree limbs, stuff like that. But the good news is, there is good news. We're going to warm up, I think, as we get deeper into the night, to the wee hours of the morning tomorrow. And I think we could warm up a few degrees above freezing to limit damage. But we'll see what happens. Someone's going to get an ice storm out of this, I think. Middle Tennessee. It's just starting to move in now. But grand total, they're going for around 5 inches. But, Waverly, 6 to 7 inches of snow. A little bit less south of Nashville. But in general, around 4 to 6 inches of snow in Middle Tennessee before it's all said and done. Not expecting much ice in this area. And I don't have Alabama pulled up. Please don't be mad at me if you're in Alabama, but this is happening right now. There's no point. You just walk outside, you see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? It's just happening right now. Chattanooga, 3 inches. Eastern Tennessee, anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snow is expected. Knoxville going for around 5. You guys had that big winter storm last year. 7, 8 inches of snow, more areas. This is a nice, moderate-sized winter storm for you guys. Some people would consider it a significant winter storm. And then we head on up to Kentucky. This is your latest information. Southern Kentucky, good for 3 to 6 inches of snow. You get in the northern Kentucky, 2 to 4. In general, Louisville, 3 to 4. Lexington, 2 to 4. Not really expecting any ice up here. And then, I know this is kind of small, but I just want to show Illinois, because really of the southern portion of the state, And this is moving in now. St. Louis, a good 1 to 3 inches of snow. Paducah, 4 to 6 for us all said and done. Marion, 4 to 5. Mount Vernon, 2 to 5. Effingham, 2 to 4. Springfield, 2 to 3. Champaign, 2 to 3. And then we move into sections of Indiana. Indianapolis, before, this is going to be a nice little event, 2 to 4 inches of snow, and just pretty much everybody in central Indiana, southern Indiana, anywhere from 2 to as much as 5 inches of snow is forecast in this area. Ohio, they're going for more exact totals, but anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow is the common theme pretty much everywhere in Ohio. Someone's going to get more, someone's going to be upset. If you're a snow fan and get less, it's how it goes. So, West Virginia, this is what we're looking at. The general theme and kind of the mid to lower elevations is 1 to 3 inches of snow. You get in those higher elevations, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches of snow is the common theme. Charleston going for around 2. So, and then let's book it back south. We're kind of directionally challenged here, aren't we? But we're going to go back down to South Carolina, calling for a few tenths of an inch. Let's see if we have any updated information. Maybe they have some updated graphics. No, we don't. So this is updated a couple hours ago. Still in around the Midlands, the northern Midlands, maybe a dusting of snow and sleet. I mean, Lancaster, they're going up for almost over a half an inch. So maybe just I would say in general, this entire area, even in the area that's not in the white, inch or less of snow and sleet, because you're going to get sleet in this area. The icing has become a big issue. They're forecasting now around a 1/4 inch of ice in Columbia, 3/10 of an inch of ice in Edgefield, Newberry. Just the freezing rain is going to become an issue in these areas. Even going for over 1/10 of an inch of ice in Barnwell to Orangeburg to Manning. So they are not buying some of these warmer scenarios where it warms up well above 32 degrees. It looks like they're buying some of these colder scenarios. Now, this is going to upgrade throughout the morning, but this was their latest forecast a couple hours ago, and this is, of course, the information I have for you guys. So we'll see what happens. Now, in the Greenville-Spartanburg area, going along the I-85 corridor all the way to Charlotte, the general theme, north and south of it, I would say, is 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet. You get south of the I-85 corridor, like, down 26, Greenwood to Lawrence to Chester to Rock Hill. 1/2 inch to 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches of snow and sleet. I want to keep adding that. Once you get into southwest North Carolina, I think it'll be more so snow. You could still mix with a little sleet. But I think 3 to as much as 5 inches of snow could fall in all the communities in southwest North Carolina. Asheville, this is not going to be a big event for you. 2 to 3 inches of snow. Going for about 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet in Charlotte, and then just a few inches of snow up the the I-40, the Interstate 40 corridor here in the Triad, Piedmont, foothills of North Carolina. So icing, going for some hefty totals in the southern upstate, northern Midlands, Greenwood to Lawrence to Chester to Rock Hill, 2/10 to a 1/4 inch of ice. Once you start to see that, once you start to get that, you can really, really see it out there. So we're going to get a lot of freezing rain in this area. Not a crippling ice storm, I don't think, but it could be a solid ice storm in some of these areas. We move into Raleigh. Raleigh going for around 1 inch, 1.5 inches. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, they bumped it up to 3 to 4 inches of snow. And they've really increased it, I would say, in northern North Carolina. I would say Raleigh, Durham, you're right on the fringe of maybe several inches of snow. But for now, they're leaning towards about 1 to 2. And then we're going to have this corridor of nasty ice here. 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice. I would say, and basically the sandhills of North Carolina up into the up into the triangle. So, and when you start to get about 1/10 of an inch of ice, you can really see it. I don't think it's going to cause big issues unless it's well below freezing. But once you get over 1/10 of an inch of ice, you can start to see that glaze on surfaces pretty well. 1/4 inch, that's when you start to get the sagging of the tree limbs and maybe the snapping, and then the power outages become possible. And this area has increased. Boone, they're going for over 5 inches of snow now. Same thing with Roanoke, Blacksburg. This thing has increased for you guys. 3, 4 inches of snow. Your classic northwest trend, northern trend with the precipitation shield happens almost with every storm. But even Mount Airy, to Reedsville, to Danville, going for 4 to 5 inches of snow now. Lynchburg around 4 inches. So they've definitely bumped it up. Not expecting really any ice in this area. And then wrapping it up with the last couple areas, I'm still watching this area to overachieve, and they have bumped it up. Richmond down to Petersburg to Williamsburg, 3, 4, maybe as much as 5 inches of snow. Norfolk up to 2.5 inches is what they're forecasting. Okomak about 4 inches, Salisbury 2 inches, Cambridge 2 inches, and we could definitely see a little bit of ice in the southern areas of this region. So, and then the last area I showed, and I haven't showed you guys much, but you could get a nice 1 to 2 inches of snow in the DC area. Baltimore, same thing. Northern VA, a couple inches of snow is possible. I would watch for this area to overachieve because it's on the northern area of the precipitation shield. Sure, lighter precipitation, but colder temperatures. So I'd watch for this area to overachieve. Oakland 3 to 4. Folks, I know that's a short video. That's all I got. What I can tell you is I won't have a video this evening, and I'm probably going to take a break over the weekend and make just a video a day, probably Saturday and Sunday, most likely. I'll say that, and I'll jump on here in the evening. But I'm telling you, after a little rest period, the pattern looks full send ahead. I'm not seeing specifically a kind of narrowed down time frame to watch for another winter storm, but I think we are not even close to done. The pattern supports lots of cold air dumping down to the lower 48, an active storm track, and we're just not done. We're not even close to done. We're not going to have some dramatic warm up after this like we've seen in the past after a big Arctic outbreak or a big winter storm. It remains solid. This is your classic looking winter, and that is why, folks, and I'll round it off with this, I do not make seasonal forecasts. I do not buy into them. A lot of people said this was going to be a very warm winter because of La Nina, blah, blah, blah. And here we are getting your classic old man style winter. We're getting winter storms left and right. I mean, it's only January 10th. This is still early winter in my books. We're starting to get to the middle of the winter time frame. But I mean, it's still the first half of January. So here we are. If you like winter, then you like this winter. So God bless all y'all. Stay safe out there. I appreciate the support so much. I'll be out and about getting reports in South Carolina. So hunker down and enjoy the winter storm. God bless all y'all.